In the woods near the Swedish-Norwegian border lies Europe's largest car cemetery. With people saying that there are over 1,000 cars there, it's easy to get lost in this forest full of all relics from the past. Join us as we explore this quite unique motor vehicle museum. Alright, so now we're actually here at this abandoned car graveyard. And I mean, you can already see here that there's a lot of cars there. I think it's about 500 or even more cars in this area. I mean, you can see like the cars here, but this is only like the beginning. In the forest over here, there's a lot of cars as well. But this is the place where you can really get a view of how big this really is. One thing that I want you to do is comment down below what type of cars there are. This one, or all of them, I've seen some better days, but this one is taken over by nature for sure. I mean, it's so interesting, just the history of this place and how they got there, and also how many cars there are, and we're in the middle of nowhere. Located deep in the forest of Värmland, Sweden, you'll find hundreds of cars from the 1940s, 50s and 60s spread out in the area. But why are all these cars here? The junkyard was initially started by two brothers in the 1950s who collected old abandoned cars. And both those houses, this house and this house over here that you can almost see in the forest there, is abandoned as well. So we will go and explore it later on. My goal here now is to find what is the most expensive or super car in this area. Because this car is really nice. But what is the most expensive car here? I don't know. I don't know really anything about cars. The only thing I know is that there's about 500 abandoned cars next to me, which is pretty cool. But I mean, we can go down here as well and see even more cars. This one is actually sitting underneath the tree. I mean, it's still taken over by nature, but you can also see the seats there. So if you want a car and restore it, this might be a good bet. I don't know. You tell me. Or maybe this is the car you want. You have a car full of vegetation, suit yourself. And as we go further in, it just keeps on going. Because there's so many cars there. There is really no end to this. This one has seen some better days, of course. And let's go inside of the forest. Underneath this big tree, there's at least 15 cars. This is just under one tree. Now, is it only me, or do you guys also think that those cars back in the days that were made like this is a lot cooler than the cars we have today? So I would definitely want a car like that, but maybe one that's actually working. I mean, you have like the tire here. We're in Sweden, okay? There's IKEA somewhere. You gotta build it yourself. Let's go outside again. Hello! Did you find your new car? Yeah. Now this car over here is a lot newer. Probably from the 80s, 90s or something like that. Nature still is taking over. Brothers kept on collecting everything from Volvos, Saabs, Fords and many other different kinds for decades. Unfortunately for the brothers, the dense forest proved difficult to tame. This one is more compact. This almost looks like a Japanese car. But I mean, I don't know. It's a sliding door. That's cool. I haven't seen that before, at least not on the front door. It's so interesting just walking through this forest and seeing all of these cars just abandoned. This is quite a weird place to be. Trees and foliage slowly took over the cars, and after 40 years, the brothers were forced to accept the junkyard's inevitable fate. You can go inside of that. Oh, cool! Okay. So this is an old bus. And it goes even further into the forest. What is this? A bunch of rusted metal parts here. Okay, so we can go up there or we can go down here. But up here is the one where there's 5 cars stacked on top of each other, apparently. This was a movie, then they could use this at like it's an abandoned city, and this is like a parking lot at Walmart.
For really bad parkers.
Yeah, for really bad parkers. I mean, I don't know how you parked on top of here, but I'm not gonna question it, you do you. Let's just keep on going, because we could spend forever here. Okay. This is sick. Wow.
So many cars. I think I heard somewhere like 600-700. I've never seen this many cars ever.
In the early 90s, one brother left the area while the other decided to stay and try to sell the cars for parts or for their vintage value.
The forest ground is just ruined.
I mean, you can see why. It's impossible to actually display how many cars there actually is.
Kind of tired. We've been driving all day.
Yeah, we're kind of tired. We've been driving all day. But I mean, at least we didn't end up as these drivers right here. I think we did something right today. The site is still a private property, but the owner doesn't mind you look around and take pictures as long as you don't take away parts. More cars and more... Ooh! You almost fell?
I cut myself in the glass.
You cut yourself?
I have open shoelaces. Don't go to abandoned places with open shoelaces. That's like your first rule. Leave only footprints, no shoelaces.
The main rule of urbex. A handwritten note near to one of the buildings reads, "For info after about 30 burglaries this year, I'm fed up with it. I made traps in the buildings, so if you get hurt or die, I don't care." There's a lot of stuff here. Remember, in this place, no one can hear you scream. There's a TV here, and there's still things that are hanging here. This house would be perfect on like those hoarding shows, where they try to clean up houses that people, you know, that collects way too many things. With everything combined, the vehicles are estimated to be worth over 1 million Swedish kronors, or almost $100,000 in scrap. However, little to no progress has been made to remove the cars from the forest. And with that, the old vehicles will continue to sit in limbo. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Abandoned. If you want to see more content like this, then click on the video on the side or explore an abandoned top secret military factory. And also remember to subscribe, because in the next episode we'll explore an abandoned sanatorium that's been used in a horror movie. See you next week.